And a very warm welcome. You're watching the Road to BAL on FIBA's YouTube channel. And today, day 3, last matchup from Division East Group E from the NASDAQ Sports Complex in Lusaka. We are live from Zambia, just awaiting the opening tip-off between Mtero Magic and the Basket Hounds, and it should be a fantastic matchup as we're starting to get some separation between the top and the bottom of the group, and things are starting to shake out, and pressure is imminent for all teams. Mtero Magic have gotten through their first 2 days with mixed results, going 1-1 coming into the afternoon, the late afternoon matchup. Now the Basket Hounds are looking for their first win of the tournament, coming in at 0-2 and are desperate to stay alive and try to advance to the Elite 16. So both teams now on the court. With the home side, as it were, our Zambian side, the Magic dressed in white, and the Hounds are in black, and a real quick score right out of the gate for Magic off the tip-off. And that was Ashimwa. And we expect big things from Lars Ashimwa this evening. As he's been one of the pacemakers of the Magic thus far. Big number 6 is Boyd, cutting down to the high post. A no-look pass out of nothing from Lars Ashimwa, and he tried to get a little too clever. He almost beheaded the guys down in the low post. Yeah, the ball flies out of bounds, but touched last by one of the Basket Hounds. Magic to inbound, up the wing. Boyd from the charity stripe misses. Needs to get that rangefinder tuned. Big Corey Boyd. Hails from St. Louis, Missouri. And need to put a little bit more arch on that, just like the arch in St. Louis. Basket Hounds now. And along the baseline, try to backdoor it. And nothing doing. And the team from Zimbabwe coming up empty on their first good opportunity. Magic sling it to the wing, to the top of the point. Sayo. Fouled, I believe, before the act of shooting. Blocking foul called against the Hounds. First foul of the ball game. And the Magic will inbound. From the wing. 3 points, and the first one of its kind in this matchup. And that for Ashimwa. Ashimwa accounting for all 5 of the Magic points. And the Hounds open up their account with their own three-pointer. Attempt from three-point land, rebound to Ashimwa, and he's rejected going up, but he's also fouled. And pardon, that was Sayul trying to affect the comebacker. So Sayul running into stiff opposition underneath, coming from Vitalis Chikoko. Star forward slash center. Mostly should go the other way around and say center slash forward. The top professional basketballer at this moment from Zimbabwe. Coming up empty was Sahil at the charity stripe. And the Hounds try to get up court fast in transition. Swatted away by the Magic, and the Hounds will retain possession. Ball to the top of the key, three-point land, count it. And just like that, Basket Hounds take a 1-point lead. Shimwa swings the ball over to Ceylon. Rebound Hounds. Another three-point attempt. Third time lucky, and the Hounds, with the 2 offensive rebounds, come away with a 2-pointer from underneath. 8-5 now the count in favor of the team from Zimbabwe. Driving to the rim is Boyd. He's fouled underway. Or was he called for? No. It was a collision of almost epic proportions in any case. Boyd, a very big unit. 6'9". They don't list weights for this tournament, but it's substantial. That's a big fella in the paint. And Corey Boyd will head over the sideline, talk things over with his teammates and that coaching staff by committee. You really don't name a head coach with the Magic as they kind of split the responsibilities. Different story altogether for the Basket Hounds, as Tawanda Nemutambwe is very much the head coach in charge of the Zimbabwe side. And must be reasonably pleased with what he's seen from his charges thus far. You'd have to think for Zimbabwe, both teams haven't been shooting the lights out of the ball by any means. And the Hounds doing just a little bit less well relative to the Magic. So they're going to have to improve on that tonight. Chikoko is going to be an important factor. And I think that they are going to need to shut down the transition game of the Magic. But for right now, it's Corey Boyd at the line. The 27-year-old. At the charity stripe to shoot 2. First one is in and out. Second one is right on target for Boyd. And he cuts the deficit to a point. 2 points, rather. From just inside the semicircle. The Hounds counter with a jump shot at their end of business. And just over 7 minutes to go, have a 4-point lead again. Shimwa. Penetration, kicks it out to the perimeter. Comes up a little bit short. Going coast to coast and laying it up and in. Hounds showing that they've got a transition game of their own. Boyd making acquaintance with Chikoko, and that's going to be a matchup that we're going to be enjoying all night. That is big on big, heavy on heavy, and the collisions are just going to be spectacular. Same height on both of them. I suspect there's not a whole lot of difference once they jump on the Toledo scale. Connects on the second. And that's a 4-point ball game. Quick transition game yet once again. This time they come up short, but there's a foul whistled by the trail official. So Aaron Johnson will head to the free throw line. AJ's first attempt. In and out. So the Hounds come away with only 1 point for their troubles. Magic. Boyd posted up. He pushes one out to the wing, and it is good. Magic pull within one. Now, ball into their big man. Chicote drive him to the iron. He's fouled in the transit. Crowd getting a little bit raucous. Good crowd on hand tonight for the home side, and Magic are going to have to tap into that. Need that NASDAQ home crowd to lift them up. This is his first attempt. Sinks the second. Traffic from the post. Flips one out to the perimeter. Hounds able to maintain a lead. Apologies as we've lost the picture from Zambia. That will happen intermittently. We've had some difficulties in transmission throughout. Gives me the opportunity to finish up a couple of thoughts on the keys of the game for the Magic. For me, they're going to need to do better than what they did last night against Ferroviário de Beira, the Mozambican side. Coughed up 16 possessions. So they're going to have to really limit the turnovers. And I say ride Ishimwa and Boyd. Scoring 35 plus. And you see the Hounds like to run the ball, so it's going to behoove the Magic to control that tempo side. the Magic have an opportunity to either cut the deficit or take the lead on this possession. Lovely pass, he just couldn't get the finish. Magic, as innocent as they may seem to look, adjudicated guilty of the foul. Lovely give and go, and no-look pass into cut man. Was a thing of beauty. Nice one here. Pick up his points from the free throw line. He completes the first half of that game. Second shot is also right through the net. And the Hounds back to a 4-point lead. Foul away from the ball. He is going to yield possession to the team from Zimbabwe. Muvezwa. Good block shot, and bringing the ball all the way back up and trying to complete a coast-to-coast trip to the hoop. He is Mukulabai, and Elijah Mukulabai was fairly resoundingly rejected by Chikoko under the basket, but Chikoko run up for a foul. Now that will send Mukulabai to the free throw line. Lots of rolls and some coffee. Mukulabai is one of two. Second one's a little bit more clear cut. And we'll have a timeout called by Matero Magic. Timeout gives us an opportunity to get you updated on today's scores, in case you've missed the early action. In the first fixture, it was the Giants of Joburg from South Africa defeating the Dolphins from Botswana 55-36. And in the game that wrapped up just ahead of this one, was a little bit closer affair and really went down to the wire as Ferroviário de Beira from Mozambique bested the Bravehearts from Malawi. Final score in that matchup was 94-88. So both the Giants and de Beira maintaining perfect records through 3 days now, and are 3-0 for the tournament, and looking to get a little bit of separation. Magic, the onus on them to try to improve that 1-1 record to 2-1, and of course the Basket Hounds searching after their first win of the tournament. Well, out of the break, it's Ndaira bringing the ball up the floor and over the timeline and distributing out to the far side. turnover. Chance for the Magic on a fast break. More difficult than it might have needed to be. Aaron Johnson completing a fast break two-point transition basket to tie things up. Three-pointer put up. Rebound, Magic. One shot from the far wing won't fall for the home side. And out of the entanglement, we will get a foul called. Foul was called on Mukulabai. And that sends Muvezwa to the free throw line to attempt a couple of foul shots. Muvezwa connecting on the second of two. Make it a 21-19 affair. An unforced error by Magic. Turnover. A chance for the Hounds to pad that lead a little bit. Lovely Euro step. And a foul means two and an opportunity for a three-point play for the Basket Hounds. It will certainly sit well with Coach Nemu Tambwa. It's deja vu all over again as it's Muvezwa. Dixon Muvezwa at the foul line, and now a chance for a quick transition basket. Goodbye. He's got a reputation as a slasher. He has absolutely no fear of going into the paint, even if he's going to beat up with the likes of Chikoko. Took that one coast to coast. I believe Chikwengo, who was guilty of the foul. Did a couple of substitutions. Amongst others, Jacob Mushinga checking in for the Magic. Mushinga's a versatile swingman for that Magic side. Pretty tenacious defender, too, at first look. Ball ends up being kicked by a Hounds player, and that's going to yield possession to the Magic. With just over a minute and a half left to play here in the first quarter. The Magic the Hounds holding on to a three-point lead. Mukulabai. Almost an errant pass, fielded well there by Aaron Johnson. Johnson off the screen, couldn't get it to go. Long ball down court, And a rejection by Mutumba. That is whistled a foul by the arbitrage. Or was it? It was simply a block shot out of bounds. And I think that was all ball from Mutumba. High dishes off to Johnson. All the way back up to nearby the timeline. There's Johnson. And a transition bucket for the Hounds. And they're making it look easy on the fast break. By slashing once again into the paint. I believe that's going to be called before the act. In actual fact, it was called an offensive foul against Muklabai. Tried to get in low post to Chikoko, and an act of absolute beautiful pickpocketing by the Magic. Just couldn't round it off on the first go, but they will retain possession with Mashinga to inbound. Baseline jumper. Well, we can say one thing, good, bad, or indifferent. The arbitrage are certainly putting the work in tonight. There's about as many whistles as this game as there are in a volleyball match. Elijah Muklabai at the line. His first shot finally deposited through the net. Second shot from the lefty is also good. There's a three-pointer that will not fall. Need to be careful. I believe what's gone down is there was a foul called. One of the Hounds tried to tip that back in. I think they tried to call it over the back. Whatever the case may be, it did not sit well with Coach Nemutambwa. And he was out of the court. And one of the assistant coaches very quickly grabbed Tawanda and scooted him back to the bench area. And we end the first quarter on that note. 25-22 in favor of the Basket Hounds from Zimbabwe. They lead the Mutero Magic, the home side from Zambia, after one. We'll take a quick pause. Be right back. Just about ready for quarter number 2 here from the NASDAQ Sports Complex in Lusaka. And forgot to mention at the onset that these two teams met last year in the road to BAL 2025. And in that matchup, why the Hounds were victorious against the Magic by a final count of 82-68. Well, luckily for us, it's a much more close pitch battle so far through one quarter of play. As Ndaira throws one up, trying to get things started in the second quarter. Coming up empty. Relieved of possession was Chona. And once again, Hounds showing that that fast transition. Although things stalled down. There's a steal right back for the Magic. Kahati, pardon, Chona, rather, with a fast break. Magic back on the offensive. Aaron Johnson. Driving down to the edge of the key, but getting fouled in the act. Will send Mushinga to the free throw line to attempt a couple of charity tosses. Another timeout. Magic supporters turning out at the NASDAQ this evening. They're going to need to get vocal. Team needs a little extra something to get them over the line. I'll tell you where that extra something's coming from in terms of the basket Hounds. That's coming from Coach Nemutambwe. He's fired up. A little bit more placid over on the Magic bench. So many different coaching styles. And there's really no rhyme or reason. And it all depends on team chemistry and the players and who reacts to what. And at the end of the day, you'd like to say that the team that ends up with the most points probably had the right coaching philosophy on the bench for that particular game. Well, where we left off was with Jacob Mushinga at the foul line for the Magic. He misses the first of a two-part movie. I'm assuming that was friendly banter between Chikoko and Tielemans. They're lined up watching the free throws being taken. Seemed all good-spirited. We have a little combo there. Chikoko. Just inside the three-point arc. But count it nonetheless. As Monty Morris nails a jump shot. Turnaround jumper for Chongo Chona is good. All tied up again. Morris dishes, works the ball all the way around the horn, baseline, nothing doing. They kick it back out to the top of the key. Now they're going to run out of time, and they didn't get the shot that they wanted, did the Hounds. Magic in transition. They'll wait and set up the offense. Aaron Johnson playing the patient game. Jonah just didn't get the right carom off the glass. Pull-up jumper just behind the free throw line is no good for the Hounds. We stay knotted at 27 apiece. Johnson flips the ball cross court. Johnson at the wing, throws one up. Just missed it, brushed the net. It's in front of the rim. No points for that. Morris thought he might get a give and go. In and out 2 times. And finally the ball exiting the hardwood surface. The Magic will end up with possession. Shinga. Lovely pass into the low post, and Mutumba converts and scores for the Magic. Boyd back in the ball game. Morris is fouled by Ishimwa. Morris together with Dieta will handle the inbounds duties. Put up from the far side, no good. Save, attempted save of the Hounds is handled by the Magic. Transition very quick once again. Boyd will venture into the paint, flip it back out. One-hander tossed up by Muklabai, but play had already been whistled dead by the officials. So Elijah Muklabai will be back at the line, try a couple of left-handed free throws. Not that they count for more or less. Left a little bit short and managed to get his own rebound, and then he's rejected to trying to come into the paint, and that is garden variety jump ball. Lovely give and go, and wonderful finish. What a fast break. Hounds want to travel. Not so sure there wasn't a grain of truth in that. But it was spectacular. On the miss. Pull-up jumper. Toughest shot in basketball for my money. That little mid-ranger from just outside the key. Ball game getting just a little sloppy at the moment. Which is odd considering the fact the officials haven't really given a chance for the game to flow for very long at all. And now we're going to get another timeout. If you've tuned in late, first of all, welcome. And second of all, just get you up to speed on the scores in the previous two games today. First fixture here in the NASDAQ Sport Complex saw the Johannesburg Giants top the Dolphins from Botswana by a final count of 55-36. And the game just previous to this saw Ferroviário de Beira from Mozambique best the Bravehearts from Malawi. Final tally there was 94-88. A very warm welcome to everyone here joining us on this YouTube broadcast from FIBA. Just over 300 of you tuning in and watching the ball game, and very welcome to all of you. As Mike Banda tries his luck from the free throw line. Banda drills the second. The Hounds have a 2-point lead. 3-point will not fall for the Magic. Morris in transition. Three-pointer, yes sir. Kamani Morris. Boyd, a little bit of a staggering drive. I think he thought twice about it, but decided to continue onward. And was unable to get any points out of that trip down court. There's another three-pointer for the Hounds. The bench just absolutely erupts. And by the way, this is a home game for the Magic, but there are plenty of basket Hound supporters on hand. Harare well represented in the house tonight. And they've pulled out to an 8-point lead. Well, that one-man pressure was tough to beat for the Hounds. They had all kinds of difficulty getting the ball across the timeline until a foul is called against that Magic defense. Under 4 minutes left to go, and the Hounds bury another three-pointer. Magic gonna have to look out. Hounds are off and running. Levi gets his own rebound, is rejected. Looking for the call. Foul is called. Elijah Levi will head to the free throw line to attempt a pair. try to put a dent in that 11-point deficit that the Magic have allowed the Hounds to run up on them. With 3.5 minutes left to go in the first half. You don't want to let the team from Zimbabwe put up too much of a lead before the break. Make that 9. Good block shot there by the Belgian, Omar Tielemans. To a transition basket. That helps the effort nicely for the Magic. Morris. Ball whipped into the key, but we've got a whistle away from the action. And another turnover for the Hounds. Turnover, steal and turnover, and it will not be a three-point play, and we've got a player crash down onto the floor. As we had a pretty physical challenge on the fast break. But popping up pretty quickly. Young point guard Tanaka Ndaira at the free throw line, and he connects on the first of 2. Ndaira, 2 for 2 on the trip. Cross-court pass. All the way out to the wing. Three-pointer put up, no good. It was blocked underway. Magic with over 2 minutes to go in the half. Tielemans trying to drive the baseline, loses the handle. Turnover pounced on by the Hounds. Drive. Fisher didn't see anything in that. And the rebound is also unsuccessful. Lay in, left just a little bit short. Shima leaves one. That was a lovely no-look pass behind the back. Chona was unable to convert. There's a bomb from Kamani Morris that is offline. As we are 87 seconds left to go here in the first half of play. Looking for the alley-oop. Couldn't get the passing down right. Morris all the way to the iron and lays it up and in. And a lovely charge to the bucket by the fellow from Colorado, Kamani Morris. An important bucket for Magic as they try to maintain pace with the Zimbabweans. It's been a tough slog for the home side of late. It was a lovely feed from Boyd to Chona. Chona gets the two-pointer and a chance to make it a three-point trip for the Magic. Chona with a free throw to make it a three-point possession for the Magic as they fall back on defense. Running one-hander, thrown up and apologies for that. That's a jump cut in the movies, but when when the stream hits a buffer, it'll just spring forward. Otherwise, we might be sitting here for the rest of the evening together. Not that that would be any displeasure, but you get the idea. Boyd, bull rush his way to the rim, and he's met by some fairly sound resistance. That matchup again between Corey Boyd and Vitalis Chikoko is moving the seismic measurements over at the University of Lusaka in the physics department. Corey Boyd. Previous to this stint in Africa, he's played in Canada and Lithuania. In his professional career. Just like Chikoko stands at 207. 6'9" for those of you still doing it in feet. Trying to chip into that deficit, not able to do anything about it, although Chona scrambles to come up with a rebound with 7 and some left over. And he's immediately fouled and will hit the charity stripe for his own account. Doing good business so far from 15 away. Six-point deficit now for the Magic. 7.5 seconds left for the Hounds. They transit quickly. Good whipped pass underneath. And a field goal to end the first half of play puts the Hounds back out to a 7-point lead as we head into the halftime break. Well, stick around, folks, because this is going to be more the same in the second half. A lot of fast-paced action. And I think we're going to come down to the wire on this, as the home crowd will be called upon to lend their support to the Magic. We'll see how it all unfolds after this break. We'll be back in a bit. You're watching the road to the BAL 2026 here on the FIBA YouTube channel. We'll be back after a brief pause. Just about ready to start things back up for the second half of play from the Nasdaq Center in Lusaka. And the score on the scorebug in screen is not correct. Basket Hounds leading the Matero Magic at halftime. As we mentioned at the outset, with an 0-2 record, it will most definitely be do or die for these fellas. As the Zimbabwean team absolutely have to win to have any chance of advancing, and I think that's exactly what's being discussed in that huddle. They really went after it in the first half. A lot of quick transition basketball. Good physical play as expected from Chikoko. And managed to cobble together 49 points, and that's 8 more than what the Magic, despite the home crowd, were able to do. That being said, good smattering of Basket Hound fans on hand who've made the trip from Zimbabwe to Zambia, and they were vocal, and they had a lot to cheer about in the first half. So we'll see what the Magic have in store for the second half. Coach Nemutambwe already working the officials, and we haven't even started the third quarter of play. He was pretty animated in the first half, and there were a couple of calls he just was not happy about. But he is a high motor coach. And until now, that philosophy has paid dividends as his team is up at halftime. We'll see how that holds out over the coming 2 quarters. I have a feeling it's going to be a good one. I'm glad that you've stuck around or are coming back. It'll be time for the official to bring a close to the discussion until the coach point's been made, but we got a ball game to play. We got fans watching on YouTube, and they're ready for some action. Everybody's gotten their refreshments, ready to go. Proper preparation. Chongo Chona laces up the boots. And big Corey Boyd is ready to go. Chona. A reasonably good first half of play. Coaching staff of the Magic, as they do that in committee form. I wish I had more information for you on what the delay is, but I simply don't, and we're just going to have to patiently wait until whatever the issue is. And I don't know if Tavonga Muvezwa has lodged some sort of query, whether it be about the score. I don't know. I really don't. But whatever it is, we hope they can get it resolved as quickly as possible, especially for the players' sake, because there's nothing worse than standing around waiting. Everybody just getting cold, and that's the way you do a hamstring. We're going to head over to the bench. While they sort that out, gives me a chance to tell you what's on or what's in store tomorrow, Friday, 31st of October, Halloween. And we will get things restarted in the morning here at the NASDAQ Center. First up is the noon fixture between the Dolphins and Ferroviário de Beira, the undefeated team from Mozambique, going up against the Dolphins from Botswana. Second matchup will be between these basket hounds and the Bravehearts from Malawi, and we will cap things off with the 5 o'clock tip-off. First game, I'm sorry, I apologize. First game is an 11 o'clock local time tip-off. Second game, a 2 p.m. local time tip-off. And the last game of the late afternoon is a 5 o'clock tip-off between the Giants from Joburg against these Matero Magic. And I'm sure the Magic would very much like to face off against Joburg with a 2-1 record, but they'll have to get things moving along here in the second half as we still try to sort out whatever grievance there is. I really don't know what the delay is. Whatever the problem was seems to have been resolved to everyone's satisfaction. And I think we can get things started with the third quarter of play. Magic in white and the basket hounds in black with the red numerals. My apologies. We're in a delay. There's been some sort of protest lodged. And the nature of that has not yet been divulged. But stay tuned. I don't have anything else to report to you at this moment. This is mere conjecture on my point. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm getting the indication there may have been an altercation at halftime between somebody. I don't have a lot of detail. And very strange situations. Looks like we're going to open up the third quarter by shooting technical free throws. In any case, the Hounds are lined up to shoot a technical. And it is Tavonga Muvezwa at the line. Muvezwa just waiting patiently. Nope, call that a practice shot. Muvezwa whistled off from starting. I don't know how much longer we would need to wait in anticipation. Muvezwa's first shot. And this is the first one for real. He's got another one coming. Ronnie Moore's coming in to give him some encouragement. That didn't do the trick either. And presumably, Basket Hounds will also have possession to start things off here in the third quarter. Now, one thing certain, about to start the third quarter, and the Hounds are up by 9 points. 49-40 the count. Muvezwa will do the honors. And inbound. His shot is tapped. It's going down into the corner to field it. And a turnover. Boyd dishes to Tielemans. Chona fouled in the act of shooting. Will step up to the free throw line to attempt two. First one is in and out. Ball from deep. It's no good. Shima. Chona. Morris driving into the paint. Good. Often not, when he gets that close to the basket, you can already mark down 2 points. Inbound to Boyd. He flips to Ishimwa. Comes up empty. Tried to run the alley-oop. Offensive foul called against Lars Ishimwa. And that arm to clear out a little bit. He's rung up with a foul. Cross-court pass taken by Chikwengo and relinquished to Morris at the perimeter for a three-pointer. Back to a 12-point lead are the Hounds. Boyd driving, can't get it to fall, left it just a little short. Chikwengo, nothing doing. Shinga. Boyd, lovely pass, a nice finish. Elijah Mukulabai. This time to Morris. Morris for 3. This time no. Rebound, Hounds. Second chancer is good. Magic gonna have to keep them off the boards. There's a tray attempted by the Magic. Diana. Chona for 2. Dyer pulls up and takes a shot himself. Comes up a little short. Boyd with the rebound. Brings up himself over the timeline. Three-pointer. Another slippery spot on that floor. Tielemans thinks twice about it. Back to the Belgian. And his ball flips up and over the backboard, out of bounds. Ten-point ball game. Dyer. Good screen pass set by Chikoko. Block shot. Morris couldn't get the handle. And Dyer is going to drive now with it. He might have taken an extra step himself. You have to characterize the first 4.5 minutes as rather sloppy. Trying to find the pace, and Dyer almost had a carry there. Morris from deep, he gets it. Big three-pointer for the Hounds. They're putting a little cushion between themselves and the Magic. 15-point ball game. There's a drive to the rim and 2 points for sure, and there may be one to follow. Elijah Muklabai, known as a slasher, and he proved it there. Elijah, a strong finisher. Try to make it a three-point trip. Can't get that much, but they get their own rebound. Oh, and come up short. Chona unable. There's a ball from distance from Morris again. A couple of caroms. Foul under the basket, and that's going to go against the Hounds. Magic are going to have to get their act together before they lose touch with the basket Hounds. Boyd runs into that stiff opposition in the low post again. Tomway is up and animated on the Hounds bench. A drive to the bucket by Elijah yet once again. And he will not be denied. Timeout called. An 11-point ball game with just under 4.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Well, after some shake, rattle, and roll, Elijah Mukulabai gets his free throw to fall, and now the rest of the gang line up around the key for his second. Dieta, strong move to the rim. Elijah loses the handle. Turnover. Hounds transit quickly. Well, Morris got exactly what he was looking for. Threw up a prayer, hoping to draw up a foul, and he was obliged by the arbitrage. A couple of moans and groans coming out of the public. Mostly partisan home side, save for some pretty enthusiastic away fans who've made the journey from Zimbabwe. The fellow they call Salah hits the first of 2 free throw opportunities. Boyd, rebound and bring the ball up himself over the timeline. A bit of a latency jump in the feed. Turnover, opportunity, oh, big collision. And a lot of moving parts going on, and I think they're going to give the benefit of the doubt to Magic, and in particular Chongo Chona. Chona at the line. Buries the first one. And his second as well. 7-point ball game. Daira. Tosses went up from the distance, missing everything. Chona clears it out. Boyd no looker. Chona. Chona will head back to the foul free throw line. He's certainly earning his keep this evening. Physical ball player, Chona, very physical forward. Misses the first of two. Chona drains the second one. Timeout? Or was it just a substitution? I believe substitution. Daira brings the ball up. Good transit to the rim. Important basket for the Hounds. Tielemans dishes cross court. Gets it back, tries a three. No, sir. A couple of spectators out on the floor to talk about that call, and that's probably not the intention. Chona back at the line. Chona's had plenty of opportunity to practice his free throws here in the third quarter, and he's seems to have gotten the stroke down pretty good at this point. Number 2 is also good, and every bit helps as the Magic try to claw their way back. Now it's only a 6-point deficit. You saw Chona D'ing up at the other end of the court. So not a bit of a statement saying, hey, Hounds, you want to drive the lane, you're going to have to contend with me. I'm not just giving it away down here. Tanaka and Daira. Second free throw is good. Move the margin back out to 7 points in favor of the Zimbabweans. Tavonga dishes to the far side. Three-pointer way off line. Rebound was for the Magic. Now the ball's out of bounds. They will stay in possession of the home side. Boyd, another one of his signature passes. Shimwa, the shot. Three-pointer comes up short. Magic in transition. Second chancer, no good. Let's get the rebound quickly up court. Errant pass, unnecessary turnover. Now just trying to rush things a little bit. And there's the Hounds fans. They're up and at 'em. Shimwa dishes off to the big fella, Corey Boyd. Dieter tried to sell the head fake. Sile inbounds. Hounds tried the old sky hook. Running the ball from the point again. Penetration and a nice bucket off the glass for the Hounds. Turnover. And yet once again, the Magic's in like a freight train. Boyd. He's getting real physical out there. This might be time to get a mouth guard if you got one. Nikolai was taking the rock to the rim, and he was not going to be denied. Now it's Ishimwa at the free throw line. This is the first. Wanted to make it a 6-point ball game. Work it against Sayo. An off-balance, awkward shot falls for the Hounds. We're going to get a timeout. And not only are the fans fans happy about what they've seen the last couple of minutes, but Tavonga Muvezwa also pretty happy. 9-point margin with 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Pardon, the end of the third quarter. Sorry for that faux pas, missed that. Well, one thing's for sure, the Hounds faithful have something to cheer about. And stick around as we are probably going to be treated to a fantastic finish here. Take a brief pause and resume activities with the start of the fourth quarter. Ten more minutes left to go. It was always do or die for the Hounds. And up until now, their mission has been very clear. However, it's also a gauntlet that's been laid down for the Magic, as we've got two teams who've now gone to 3-0. For the Magic, it really is a must-win here this evening if they want to keep pace with the likes of Debida and the Giants, who both won their contests earlier this afternoon. So 10 more minutes will decide it. Hounds always were going to have a tough slog to get themselves to the Elite 16. A win tonight would perhaps put them just outside the conversation. And the situation for the Magic is not much different. Sayul is relieved of possession. Physical tie up at the far end on the fast break. Sayul, to his credit, was not going to give anything up the easy way, especially in his own home turf. If Muvezwa is going to get any points, he's going to have to earn them the old-fashioned way. First one clatters off the back of the rim. Has not had a stellar evening from the free throw line. Very unorthodox. You don't see that often, lining up off center. Fully legal. And it's not helping his free throw shooting any. Sayul from distance. Rebound, Muvezwa. Gives up the rock. Putbacker is in and out. Just a buy-up basket here in the fourth quarter. Be careful straddling that timeline. That's just they didn't consider that front court possession. This one a foul before the shot. Dyra throws up an awkward-looking three-pointer. Magic's do well to keep the ball inbounds. Here's a quick pass up court. Important field goal for the Magic. Chona. Muvezwa meets an immovable object. Make it movable. That's easier said than done. Tavonga Muvezwa will go to the free throw line. Hits the first of two. It's an 8-point lead now for the Hounds. Banks the second one. Don't know if he called it, but it counts all the same. And every little bit helps in the effort. The dish to Chona. Chona rejected. No call. One thrown up there by Mushinga. Magic still have possession. It's touched by Chona, I should believe. Nope. It's touched by a member of the Hound squad. So the Magic have had plenty of opportunities on this trip. And it's certainly disappointing to come away empty-handed. Sayo, cross court from the wing, follows his own shot. And Mushinga will have the umpteenth possibility for the Magic to score on this possession. And that courtesy a couple of free throws from 15 away. Jacob Mushinga with 1 out of 2. Mushinga cuts the deficit to 7 points. Full court press now. Lots of pressure applied by the Magic. Hounds get it up to the timeline and across. And Dieta for options. Drive to the hoop. Karam off the glass a little too strong. Magic, hold up, wait for the rest of the offense to set things up. Chona, back to Sayul. Muvezwa dishes down at a low post, brought back out. Under 7 minutes now left to go. 6-point lead for the Hounds. Ooh, emphatic. Rejection from Makuta. I got tied up, nearly traveled. Under 6 to go. 10-point lead once again for the Hounds. Timeout call. left alone. The Hounds are happy to run as much time off the clock per possession as possible. And Dida gets a lot of physical contact, but no whistle. Running the length of the floor and coming up with the two-pointer, Jacob Mushinga. Another timeout. It's great to see Tavonga Muvezwa at work. Just less than 5 minutes to go. Still an 8-point lead for the Hounds. Not the best effort from Muvezwa. An opportunity now for the Magic to cut it to half a dozen. By foul called. I'm going to bring the big man back into the ball game. Talis Chikoko. Big Vita coming back. Try to shut things down in the paint. Magic are fearless when it comes to driving the lane. Slashers for Matero Magic. Corey Boyd puts the miss back up and in, and that really helps the effort. Now it is a half a dozen. The lead whittled away bit by bit. Magic are fighting tooth and nail to get back in this thing. Foul called. Arbitrage having a discussion. I think we've got multiple fouls. I think we've actually got a technical foul. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I thought we might have a personal foul and then a technical foul afterwards. We just have to watch along and see how it plays out. I suspect that there was very little that you could have said to Coach Muvezwa that would have placated him. I would have sent a text message. And Coach Muvezwa has been sent to the showers. So we'll have to reconstruct things just to see how things are played out here. But there was a technical foul. It was a bench technical against the coach. And Tavonga Muvezwa has left the building. Does not dampen the party being held by the Hound supporters by a long shot. So stepping up to shoot some free throws now are the Magic. And they're going to try to make every one of these count. So we're going to shoot a technical from the Magic. Now it will be Hound's ball. Yeah, it was a Magic foul and a technical against the Hounds. As near as I can figure. Oh my goodness. They left the back door open. Oh, that stings. Under 4 minutes now to go. 5. Driving the lane. Seven-point game for the Hounds. The slightest of pressure from the Magic, really none to speak of, bringing the ball up the floor. Three-pointer thrown up as the shot clock expires. Slows things up. Now is allowed to drive the length of the floor unchallenged. Now the big fella just rattles one home for an easy deuce. It's a 5-point ball game. Chiquingo gives the ball up, gets it back. Shot clock to expire on the play. Now under 3 minutes, 2:47 to be exact. Every possession is going to count from here on in, and that applies to both sides. Elijah moving by, can't get it to go. Offensive foul. It's certainly going to sit well with the Magic. Big bucket for the home side. Big, huge, important bucket. 2-point deficit, chance to tie. Yes, sir! Tie ball game. Who'd have thunk it? Elijah ties the ball game up. Pandemonium, and oh man, it's all broken loose now. Elijah dishes. Corey Boyd throws one down. You like fantastic finishes? You came to the right place. Muvezwa misses. All of a sudden, things are turned on their head. Magic, Corey Boyd needs to be careful. Big fella can't just run through people, but he ended up drawing the foul. Oh, the tables have been turned. That small contingent of Hounds fans, they have been silenced, and now all of a sudden the majority is having their moment. .118 remaining. And Corey Boyd is at the charity stripe. And this is on the first half. untimely moment for our picture to skip, as we didn't see what caused a player from each side to end up on the hardwood. Dixon Muvezwa feeling a little worse for the wear. And he was presumably fouled. And now will be down to Dixon Muvezwa to try to break open the deadlock. And he does on the first half of a two-shot trip to the free throw line. Goes 2 for 2. Shinga, Boyd. Boyd driving the lane, lays it up and in. Knotted up at 84 apiece with a minute to go. Muvezwa directing traffic, needs to get across the timeline. Loses possession, big turnover, big chance for the Magic. Shinga to Boyd. Boyd flips it to Mashinga. Back down to the wing. He tried to drive inside. They end up losing possession. Here, a chance for the Hounds. The team can buy a bucket here in the last minute of play. Are we going to overtime? Boyd. Mashinga. 7 seconds. You have to get a move on. Puts up a last-minute shot to the buzzer. We're going to overtime. Well, after a frenetic final 2 minutes, perhaps it's poetic justice, but we're going to stick around and play some more basketball in Lusaka. If anything, the tempo was out of control. And the officials really had their work cut out for them. 84-84. Yours truly will take a brief pause and we'll rejoin action at the start of the overtime period. Magic and Basket Hounds fans getting their money's worth tonight. We're going to play an extra stanza. We'll play 5-minute periods until we got a winner. One extra detail, each team has 2 timeouts per overtime period. And it will be the Basket Hounds to inbound and first in possession here in this first overtime period. Hounds try to open up the account in overtime with a 3-point shot. Boyd, Mushinga, no sir. Rebound, Chonga, Elijah. Finally down into the old post, good dish. Turnaround for Elijah will not fall. Team able to do anything with the first touch of the basketball. Chitwengo out on the wing to Muvezwa. Violation. Boyd comes up with it, almost miraculously. Lots of physical contact in the paint. Sayul, no. Ball stays with the Magic. Jonah for 3. Yes, sir. He's 5. Turnaround jumper, blocked. Rebound for the Hounds. Another turnaround, another block. Controlled by Chona. Sayul hangs on to it. Mushinga to Boyd. Boyd directing traffic. Another one of his no lookers. Tried Chona, and the traffic was just a little too substantial there in the key. Hounds for 3. Yes, sir. Jacob Mushinga. Flips it to Boyd. Boyd dishes to Chona. Boyd comes in to try to clean things up himself, and he does. You know, sometimes when in doubt, give the rock to the big man, let him find the iron. Muvezwa driving. He's got one of the most physical players on the court right next to him, Elijah Mukulabai. And he said, no way it's going to be that easy here in my house. Daira heads to the free throw stripe with his team looking at a 3-point deficit. Takes one off of it. Good business trip to the free throw line for Tanaka and Daira. By lovely drive to the rim. Daira needs to hang on to it. Willing his way to the basket. The Hounds just still point down. 1:24 left to go here in this first overtime period. Corey Boyd driving, gives up the ball. And there's a foul. I believe that was Boyd being frustrated and trying to get the ball back quickly. Up over the 500 viewers on the YouTube feed. Being treated to some bonus basketball here from the Nasdaq Center in Lusaka. And one thing is obvious, neither one of these teams is going to give up. Hounds trying to go up by one. Cannot. Daira. Have the tracking turned on. Basket unsuccessful. In the first instance for Sayul. He'll get a chance to redeem himself from the charity strike. First one is good. Ding Sayul, 2 for 2. And an improbable turnover as the Hounds unable to inbound the ball off the free throw. There's a big time opportunity now for Magic. Boyd claims the inbound pass. By. And Elijah drives it to the rim. Who else? 4-point lead now for Matero Magic, and Hounds find themselves in unfamiliar territory. And a costly, untimely turnover. And the Magic really have an opportunity to start putting this one away. And the Hounds will take one of their 2 allocated timeouts here in the overtime period. Remember, Coach Tawanda Nemutambwe is no longer on the bench. He was run by the officials late in the fourth quarter. So both teams will talk it over. Magic can now taste it. And there was a comment come up twice in the chat on YouTube, and someone said this one will end in tears, and I fear that they're right, because it's going to be a tough loss for whoever has to take that L. And for the Hounds, it'll be devastating because it will most certainly mean the end of their journey towards the BAL for this year. But a win for the Zambian squad could relinquish their quest, and they know it. Magic have discussed the strategy. Full court pressure expected from the Hounds already on the inbound pass. 38 to go. They will not be able to let the air out of the basketball. Wonderful transition. Oh my goodness! You're kidding me! Where did that come from? That's gonna let the air out of it. And the NASDAQ Center is in ecstasy. And I'll tell you one thing, Elijah Muklabai played a big part in this comeback. It's not over, and we've seen eternity spent in 20 seconds of basketball. But all the momentum is now with the Magic. Need to be careful. Don't want to intrude onto the hardwood. It cost your team a technical foul. As Elijah Muklabai heads to the free throw line to try to put this one out of touch. Gets the first of two. What a game he has played. Had on my game notes: slasher, strong finisher, emotional spark. Oh man, how's that for a scouting report? And I think we're gonna have a timeout off the free throw. Technical foul. Yeah, we have a technical foul, and I don't know the reason. It's not a technical foul, it's a personal foul. Must have been off the missed free throw. My apologies, did not pick that up. Jumpy screen, and it's tough to pick up at times. Chance now for Magic to just take the foul and do good business at the free throw line. And potentially break 100 points. So with a late addition to the score bug, as you can see, it's a 5-point game. So this is a very important free throw, or set of free throws rather. Still 10 seconds showing on the clock. Now need 2 3-point shots to tie the game. And as the Magic have now hit the century mark. 101. It's a 3-score game. Hounds quickly in transition as they need to do. Goes up a prayer as you need to do, and it goes in as it needed to. It took too long, even at that. As quickly as that transition was made, the whole process ate up the lion's share of the remaining 10 seconds. There's only 2.5 left to go. sort of adjustment, which I don't think so. They immediately fouled as they had to, and that leaves Jacob Mushinga to put things well and truly out of touch. And then my last prediction for the evening is it's going to be party time in the NASDAQ Center. Don't forget, we'll see you back here tomorrow morning with a 11 o'clock kickoff, 11 o'clock tip-off slated between the Dolphins and the Railway team of Labada. We'll follow that up with the 2 p.m. tip-off between these Hounds and the Bravehearts. And the Hounds will be filthy that they squandered the opportunity tonight. But the Magic just hung in there and battled their way back into the ball game. I don't know, we're putting some time back on the clock. Let's see. Hopefully they're not going to run down. Oh, bother. Let's see what we end up with there. 1.3 is what we've got. Yeah. Is that what we're going to settle upon? Yeah. 1.3 seconds remaining. Chona with a last gasp. Falls short, doesn't matter. Magic really pulled off some magic tonight here in the NASDAQ Sport Complex. You almost had them written off, but you had a feeling that together with the vibe on the home court, combined with just an absolute unwillingness to give up, they could somehow fight and claw their way back into the game, and that they did. 102 to 97, the final tally from the NASDAQ Center in Lusaka. Well, it was longer than we thought it would take, including the halftime formalities of settling some things that transpired at halftime. But all in all, it was quite an exciting game to watch. Hope you enjoyed it. And you're all very welcome back here tomorrow. We hope to see you again. You've been watching the Road to the BAL 2026 here on YouTube coverage from FIBA. We hope to see you back tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.